Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps. When I first heard about the short being released, I never expected it to have dialogue because stuff like the Team Sonic Racing short and Chow in Space didn't have any. So I was interested in seeing how they could use elements of Sonic Colors and focus entirely on things happening with fast pacing like Sonic Mania Adventures, instead of just being about characters standing still and saying dialogue that fails to make you laugh. Apparently they decided that was Sonic Colors' greatest strength instead of failure, to the point where it just wouldn't be a Sonic Colors animation without that. Well, fine. Let's see how they do after not getting that right. I mean, Colors is such a bare-bones plot that it needs dialogue to last a while. But they could have added a bunch of new plot developments. So after wasting my time boring me instead of immediately starting the story, we see Wisps trapped in containers being sent to a square hole, and Orbot puts one in a tube to be abused, and then one of the robots runs into the other so that one of the Wisps can fail to escape because Eggman grabs him. Eggman's being menacing here, and then Eggman puts him in the Wisp Abuser. I thought we were going to see the Wisps being captured with nets. Why would they not show that first? And then the dramatic scene is ruined by Sonic in the present, saying that Tails' bad impression of Eggman's voice took him out of it. I thought they were going to keep going on with that, and that would be played for comedy. And then the flashback of Sonic doing the voice of Eggman, and he has Eggman make fun of himself while bragging about his plan. It makes way more sense that he'd only have self-aware dialogue that makes fun of himself because Sonic was mocking him. And Sonic and Tails are reading out a script. And Sonic complains that the translators of the script made it so dry that he had to ad-lib it. Tails saying that a dinosaur appeared to make things less boring makes me wish that that did happen. Tails really bored me with his monotone reading out of the same plan that Eggman had in Sonic Colors. I know that Wisps being captured and stuff is bad, but I'm already used to it. Cubot talks with the voice of the announcer from Sonic Colors for no in-universe reason. That has no relevance to the plot, so anyways, Orbot and Cubot fawn over Metal Sonic and show him tons of respect. Which is a fan idea that I had of them a long time ago, but always in the back of my mind figured that it wasn't canon, because Orbot and Cubot are the apathetic robot sidekicks who don't care about Eggman's plans. Why would they respect Eggman's favorite evil robot just because of that? Eggman's plans always fail, which means that Metal Sonic always fails. It would make more sense if Orbot saw Metal Sonic in action and thought he was badass as a result, but when has he ever seen him in action? Orbot even calls him Big Bro. But since when do they act like this around him? Metal Sonic not responding to them at all misses the appeal of why I liked and used to think about the idea of them really liking him in the first place. What's the point if Metal Sonic doesn't see them as friends and the only people he really likes? It doesn't humanize him. So whatever. He just stares at them silently. It would be seen as out of character if he hugged them. Like, he could at least give them a thumbs up, because that's what Sonic would do. He could interact with them like how Sonic would interact with Tails, and then it would be interesting at least. At least it's kind of interesting that they do have a unique reaction to Metal Sonic, instead of just treating him like any robot. But there's no real payoff if he's not reacting to them at all. At least he isn't needlessly cruel by hitting them, or even ignoring him, but at least that would tell us what he thinks of them. Metal Sonic talked at every possible opportunity in the comics, and even Sonic Pinball Party, without needing a Neo form. This just strips him a character out of nowhere and defeats the point of having him be in the same room as them, because he might as well not be. Orbot insists they aren't bumbling at all. Cubot trips, and Metal Sonic puts something in a container, and the Wisps fly behind him after revealing that they were hiding behind the giant capsules. Somehow. The Wisps use their powers to save the trapped ones, as I wonder why they avoided being captured. Also, why aren't the Wisps subtitled when they're talking to each other? I hate that this makes me say Wisps so much. Wisps doesn't exactly roll off the tongue well. And one of them makes sure that Cubot drops some of the Wisps. Then Metal Sonic tries to grab one of the Wisps, and he's a genuine threat grabbing a lot of them. Then it cuts back to Tails in the present, and it goes back to this typical same plot as Sonic Colors. So I lost interest. It's not like they're in bumper cars or anything, they're just in one place. It was admirable that Sonic said he had a zero tolerance policy for bullies. But basically, what was the point of those Wisps trying to free the other ones if they failed? You can't make a Wisp look cool. It wasn't worth them being confusingly free to do that then, since barely anything happened. Metal puts Wisps in the draining machine, and Sonic grabs Metal Sonic's hands, and he says he's hideous. That's uncharacteristic of him at this point in the series, to the point of being jarring. But for once I can understand his reaction to him, because he's got evil black and red eyes. Why would he compliment that appearance? Still, him hating him so much is a stark contrast from IDW in the reboot where he seems to like him. But I guess that makes sense, because he never acted like that in anything not written by Flynn. Eventually, Sonic jumps into the air and uses a laser wisp, saying that Metal Sonic will have to catch him first. Then Orbot reveals that the wisp in Metal Sonic's hand doesn't want to share its power with him, so that's dull. But Orbot says they have a way around that. And then Metal squeezes it later and it turns into a Frenzy Wisp. So the Drill Wisp is used a lot. And there's a lot of running around in blurs instead of actual fighting, so I'm just bored. Metal Sonic makes it to the Wisp capsule first and stands in front of it. But then a Wisp goes past him and breaks the capsule. And there's a genuinely sad moment where Sonic holds a Frenzy Wisp while Tails says that they're too late. But as I expected, it's just a fake-out death. If it was a real death, that would have been memorable. And Orbot and Cubot can't really merge with Metal Sonic to make him stronger, and just hold him instead. Why would they think that would help him? This joke was already done with Deco and Boko, and it was much better done because we saw it get done all the way. We saw their merge form, just for it to all be them daydreaming. So instead of it using a new idea that would have made the short memorable and creative, they don't merge with each other for a climactic fight. And instead, Metal Sonic is sent away with a Drill Wisp. So, did Metal Sonic ever use the Wisps? If he used the Frenzy Wisp, I didn't notice because all I noticed was just him doing the same thing he always tended to do. Move fast. He didn't even shoot lasers. Then there's a clearly unnecessary ending scene with Sonic and Tails reflecting on the fact that their job isn't done yet because the game plot's not over yet. So they take it seriously that the Wisps still need their help. So, this was dull and pointless. I wish Metal Sonic used a bunch of Wisps in this short. It makes sense that he can't because they don't want to share the power with him. But even when Orbot made sure that one of the Wisps would go Frenzy, did he use his power like Sonic did? No. He didn't turn into a giant purple Pac-Man. Couldn't they just have him squeeze him to use his laser wisp power or something? Couldn't Metal Sonic just squeeze every other kind of wisp to use their powers? This story had so little to add to the Sonic franchise that I feel really empty after seeing it, and have a hard time motivating myself to talk about the plot. But here goes. The plot is that at the start, we see a flashback where the Wisps are all captured in a room belonging to Eggman that's dedicated to turning them into Frenzy Wisps. We didn't even get to see Orbot and Cubot capture them, surprisingly. And it turns out it's all a flashback made from Sonic and Tails reading out a script that was translated from what the Wisp told them. Although the fact that Sonic said translators in plural made it seem like just a meta joke about actual Sonic game scripts. I was just really confused that there were Wisps that were free, instead of all of the Wisps in the room being trapped. How is that possible? Even if Cubot tripped and broke some containers, wouldn't he immediately notice they were broken and Wisps were free because they'd be right in front of him? Now that I'm thinking about it, these containers must be made out of amazing stuff if the Wisps didn't all break out of them right away with their powers. Anyways, Metal Sonic was put in the plot of Sonic Colors. That's it. He never talked and just did the exact same things he always does, complete with them holding onto Sonic's hands like OVA Metal Sonic or Mega Sally. And instead of them getting a bunch of hits on each other to have a watchable fight, they ran around a lot and I zoned out. Eventually, the day was saved and he got hit away by a yellow wisp. Metal Sonic showed up so many different times in the series. He just showed up as an illusion form in Sonic Forces. He was in Sonic Generations and Sonic Boom, all places where he wasn't necessary. Couldn't he have been removed from those plots with nothing being lost? Isn't it a little too early to reuse them for this and expect us not to be bored? And just like in the original Sonic Colors, what's so creative about the whole Wisp conversion plan of Eggman's? It's just his roboticization plans, except the captured beings are Wisp aliens and they're turned into purple berserkers instead of robots. But if they do what Eggman wants, that's giving him what he would have wanted from roboticization too. So no wonder I felt empty. There's nothing really new here. Even in Sonic Colors, it wasn't really that new. Just the same concept with a different coat of paint. Instead of badniks and animals, it's Wisps. Bottom line is, even teasing the possibility of Metal Sonic using the Wisps just made it feel all the more boring and empty because not even that new idea was used. Which wasn't even hard to come up with. Why can't other characters in Sonic use the Wisps? That's common sense. Maybe they could have worked for Metal Sonic if they were brainwashed into it. Like how Eggman brainwashed Tails in Colors. What a huge missed opportunity. Maybe it would have been exciting to see Metal Sonic use all the different Wisps while competing with Sonic, so he'd actually be on his level here and do something different. He's Sonic's rival, you'd think he'd be doing the same things he does. And giving him a challenge. What is the point if it's the same basic plot and premise as some of Sonic Colors, but with Metal Sonic added into it? Any amateur fanfiction writer could do that. But I would never expect this kind of story in fanfiction, because fanfiction can be about anything. This is just to promote Sonic Colors, but the only way they could have been any lazier with the plot was if they didn't have Metal Sonic at all. Even I could have made this more interesting. What if Captain Whisker was here instead of him? Or in addition to him, better yet. He could have had his own plot. He could have had his own goal. We could have seen Sonic pummel him. I was the most bored with Sonic and Tails interacting together, because that was the most ripped out of Sonic Colors. But at least here they did something new, because they tried to impersonate Eggman when they read out a translated script of what he was saying according to the Wisps. They provided some criticism on Sonic Colors and how it wrote Eggman, because of course he was only talking like that because Sonic was making fun of him.